Hello everybody. Canadian Rights Reviews is back after a long layoff. Health and real-life issues have kept me away. I sincerely appreciate everyone that has stuck around. We're going to get right into updates from some of my previous videos. We'll start with my very first video. The Chris Ivani incident in Canadian Tire. In late July of 2021, Mr. Ivani entered a guilty plea for uttering threats and not wearing a mask. His 2 assault charges were stayed in an agreed-upon plea deal. During his probation period he will be banned from the market crossing Canadian Tire, be required to stay away from the 2 individuals involved in the state assault charges, and undergo anger management counseling. If he completes his probation successfully, he will have no criminal record related to this incident. No word on any civil proceedings from Mr. Ivani after collecting over $11,000 through 2 GoFundMe pages. The 2 Vancouver PD members, previously placed on non-deployable duty, after being filmed posing with a dead body in February 2021, were found guilty of discreditable conduct by the BCOPCC. It was reported in early November 2021 that both were reprimanded, via suspension without pay, for an undisclosed amount of time. In Kelowna, Chad Vance was set to have an internal code of conduct hearing in July 2021, where he was facing 7 counts of discreditable conduct. In criminal court, Mr. Vance was previously found not guilty of sexual assault, and had a separate assault charge stayed. It seems Mr. Vance was less confident in the outcome of the internal hearing, as he resigned his position, avoiding any internal discipline from the RCMP. In June 2021, Mona Wang settled her civil lawsuit against Constable Lacey Browning and the RCMP, for Browning's treatment of Mona during a wellness check. No details have been released. Browning remains the target of 2 further civil suits, for 2 unrelated incidents. The RCMP constable was officially charged with 1 count of assault in August 2021, in relation to the Mona Wang incident. In January of 2022, Browning's lawyer indicated she will be entering a plea of not guilty to the assault charge. In October 2021, the Independent Investigations Office stated, no charges would be laid against Kelowna Constable Reginald Sahai, regarding an August 2020 incident. In my last update, it was reported RCMP Constable Siggy Petersak was charged with assault in April 2021, related to an incident from May of the prior year. A 6-day trial has been scheduled starting May 24, 2022. No word on the related civil lawsuit, or internal investigation. However, while Crown proceeds with criminal charges, the Attorney General of Canada stands firmly behind the actions of the constable in their response to the civil lawsuit. In June of 2021, Constable Petersak was also charged with domestic assault in an unrelated incident. Our last Kevin J. Johnston update ended with the Calgary mayoral candidate cooling his heels in an Alberta jail. Things have not gotten any better for Mr. Johnston. He spent 48 days in jail from where we left off. During that time of incarceration, a civil lawsuit for $1.3 million by Alberta Health Services was filed, and he was formally charged with criminal harassment of an AHS employee. On July 12, 2021, Mr. Johnston was sentenced to 9 months probation, after entering a guilty plea for criminal harassment and causing a disturbance. In September, Mr. Johnston was sentenced to 40 days in jail and fined $20,000, for 2 contempt charges related to violating public health order restrictions. He was allowed to serve his time intermittently over multiple weekends. Our last update also covered Mr. Johnston's previous legal troubles in Ontario, related to Paramount Fine Foods owner Mohammed Fakey. Also in September, Mr. Johnston entered a plea of guilty for that hate crime. A sentence has yet to be imposed. Related to that incident, a previous injunction was put into place, to stop Mr. Johnston from making further defamatory statements about Mr. Fakey. In early October, Mr. Johnston was found guilty of 6 counts of contempt for violating the injunction and sentenced to 18 months in jail. Mr. Johnston was scheduled to serve those 18 months, beginning January 4, 2022, after completing his 40-day sentence in Alberta. Mr. Johnston was unable to show up on that date, as he was busy being arrested, while trying to cross the border into Montana on foot, to avoid having to serve his sentence. Mr. Johnston has been returned to Canada, and has since been released from jail. He is under house arrest pending further actions. It's tough trying to track everything, but if I have things straight, Mr. Johnston is still awaiting sentencing for the Ontario hate crime, and still has to serve 18 months there for contempt. He also has outstanding charges, related to public health orders and failure to appear, in Drumheller, Alberta. Additionally, his trial for assault in Dawson Creek, BC is in limbo. Mr. Johnston placed 9th in his bid for mayor in Calgary, garnering 0.4% of the vote. I'm not sure if there will be future updates regarding Mr. Johnston. This is all starting to seem more than a little bit redundant. Constable Jason Stamp was due in court to face criminal charges on June 7, 2021. I have been unable to find any information regarding that, or any subsequent actions. If you have any information you can share, please let me know in the comments or send me an email. Bill C-10, dubbed by many as the censorship bill, died in Senate this past summer after passing through the House of Commons. Although dead in its present form, during the federal election, the Liberals promised new legislation to try and revive the act during the first 100 days of forming government. Nothing further to report at this time. I had previously brought you the story of Hamilton Constable Ian Milburn being charged with assault for lunging toward a woman behind a mostly closed door. I am pleased to announce that in November 2021, Constable Milburn entered a guilty plea to the assault charge. He has been placed on probation for 18 months and ordered to write a letter of apology to the woman. Additionally, he is required to attend anger management counseling and perform 150 hours of community service. The Hamilton Police Service has stated that their professional standards branch is now reviewing the incident, as the criminal proceedings are complete. After admitting to the killing to a coworker and leading the RCMP to the body, Bernie Herman was remanded into custody. He resigned from the RCMP on June 1 of 2021. While I certainly believe in the presumption of innocence, I found it shocking when, considering what we know about the case, the former Mountie was granted bail in late June. Braden's family has filed a civil suit against the ex-Mountie and the RCMP. Bernie Herman's preliminary hearing was scheduled to take place in December but has been postponed until May 30, 2022. The accused remains out on bail. His bail conditions are unknown due to a publication ban. Our final update brings us to a pattern of harassment in relation to filming the RCMP in Surrey, BC, by BC Paul News. After numerous discussions between Paul and myself, and further research and follow-up by Paul with the Surrey RCMP, I am pleased to announce, it's our understanding that Constable Richards is no longer employed by the Surrey RCMP. I am much less pleased to announce, Mr. Richards is reported to have found work as a police officer somewhere in Alberta. BC Paul's previous channel is no longer available. However, he has recently relaunched. Link included in the description. We will update you further if we learn of any meaningful developments in this case. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.